strike, and the score.
And McClellan, he could go. Burst of speed.
The header, another goal's in.
Heisman Memorial Trophy. Bryce Young.
A shot with the right foot. 3-1 Crimson Tide.
We talked about Alabama. Alabama is still Alabama.
And welcome to the Crimson Tide Production Studio inside Bryant-Denny Stadium for another episode of Tide TV This Week. I'm Roger Hoover, joined by my co-host Kinsey Hughes. Roll Tide, Kinsey. Another week in the new year. More wins for the Crimson Tide.
More wins. We got gymnastics, we got basketball, we wrapped it up with football, but hey, it was a huge weekend here in Tuscaloosa. Gymnastics opened their season with a big win. Women's basketball rolled over the Auburn Tigers down on the Plains, and the Alabama men's basketball team made history in their big win over the Kentucky Wildcats.
Playing in front of a sold-out crowd at Coleman Coliseum, the Tide dominated the Wildcats from start to finish. And also, Coach Saban was on hand as he had a front row seat to this dominating performance by the Coach Oates and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama jumped out to an early lead on an 8-0 run led by Charles Bediako. Chuck had 6 of the Tide's first 8 points. After the Wildcats scored their first bucket of the game, Noah Clowney answered right back with a 3 to put the Tide up 11-2. Kentucky fought back and cut Alabama's lead to just 1 at 20-19 with just under 5 minutes to go in the half. Then Charles Bediako was a force down low as he helped hold Oscar Tshiebwe scoreless in the first half. But the Tide responded well, closing out the first 20 minutes of action with a 15-5 run as Alabama led by 11 at the break, 35-24.
The Tide kept rolling with a second with a 13-3 run to begin the half to take a 21-point lead at 48-27. Then check this out, Roger. Off the rebound and pass from Rylan Griffin, Brandon Miller absolutely yams it with authority. That gave the Tide 50 as Bama led 50-29. JQ put Bama up 25 with this shot from beyond the arc, and Noah Gurley's putback on this shot gave Alabama their biggest lead of the game at 31. Coleman Coliseum was rocking on Saturday afternoon as the Tide dominated the Kentucky Wildcats 78-52.
We're learning game to game. We've got young guys playing 4 freshmen a lot of minutes, playing new guys, transfers, whatever, a lot. But we're learning. That's really all we're trying to do is get a little bit better every game. I thought we definitely got better this game from the Ole Miss game. So, look, I'll say this too. Like the crowd was unbelievable. Students are not in school until I believe Wednesday's first day of class. Like for them to show up like they did tonight, you know, we need great crowds like this. Obviously, it helps when you win. We've been winning, but for them to show up and support us like they did, and everybody, it didn't seem like there was too many open seats in there. So we're trying to put a program and a product out there that everybody's proud to support, and they supported tonight. So I just want to thank everybody for that.
The 26-point win was the largest margin of victory in history for the Crimson Tide over Kentucky. The Tide had 3 score in double figures. Brandon Miller led the Tide with 19 points, while Mark Sears had 16, and Javon Quinterly finished with 12.
Miller had a game-high 7 rebounds, while Sears had game highs with 4 assists and 6 steals. Charles Bediako finished with 9 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks, as he was key in helping hold the reigning National Player of the Year, Oscar Tshiebwe, to only 4 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 turnovers. The Tide held the Wildcats to just 28% shooting from the floor and 5 of 20 from beyond the arc.
An absolutely huge win over the Wildcats, Roger. And anytime you can beat Kentucky, it's a big win, right? But to beat them by 26 in Coleman, that's awesome, man. Such a great atmosphere on Saturday, and the fans had Coleman Coliseum rocking.
It was such a great atmosphere, and to beat them in that way just shows how far Nate Oates has brought this program. Let's take an all-access look at the Tide's historic win over the Kentucky Wildcats.
The team that most are talking about right now in that regard is the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah, listen, there's 15,000 in the building. There's 33 NBA scouts. This is a big game, and the folks are here to see Alabama.
But down low, Bediako was too deep, and the foul on Wallace. Bediako had it deep in the paint. That's another dunk wide open, and a flush. What a start for the Tide.
Whips a pass outside. Clowney steps into a 3.
Got a lot of stuff to work with, as does Nate Oates, this entire Alabama team.
Works it in to Quinterly, driving, stepping through, shooting, scoring, and he is fouled. A chance for the and one.
And it is all the ball. Around what a play there. How about Sears taking over?
Griffin, he'll push it ahead. Beautiful pass. Miller, flush. What a pass by Rylan Griffin. JQ, 3. Alabama rolling right now.
Wow, so does that guy. Sears buries a 3.
Left alone, another 3. Another make. Another one.
They are the real deal.
They have everything that you're looking for in a potential SEC champion, if not a potential national champion.
Look, we're growing. We're maturing. Guys are getting better. Really good job. Like, proud of everybody. Serious.
What a win, Roger. And it was great seeing the in-state guy, Mark Sears, get the Hard Hat Award. He definitely deserved it.
And speaking of deserving awards, this one was definitely deserving as well. For the second week in a row and also the fourth time this season, Brandon Miller has been named the SEC Freshman of the Week. Miller led the Tide with 17 points in the win over Ole Miss and 19 points in the Tide's victory over Kentucky. Miller continues to lead the SEC in scoring at 19 points per game.
He's definitely got the hot hand, and with the 2 wins this past week, the Tide kept climbing in the polls. Alabama moved up 3 spots in the Associated Press top 25 to number 4. Alabama is behind number 1 Houston, who beat the Tide a few weeks ago, Kansas, and Purdue.
Crimson Tide moves up 3 spots in the coaches poll as well. Alabama moves up from 7th to 4th. The Tide's 4th place ranking matches its highest of the year.
And check this out, Roger. The men's basketball team is excelling on the court this year, and they're also excelling in the classroom. The team had a fall semester grade point average of a 3.25, which is the highest in program history. The Tide had 3 finish on the president's list with a perfect 4.0 GPA and 5 on the dean's list, finishing with a 3.5 or higher. All of that while ranking 4th in the country as well. Not a bad fall semester.
Good work in the classroom, and the 4th-ranked Crimson Tide continued SEC play on Wednesday night on the road. Alabama took on 15th-ranked Arkansas in Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville.
To win, the Crimson Tide would have to snap a 17-game winning streak for the Razorbacks at home.
Mark Sears led all scorers with 12 first-half points. The Tide scored 10 fast break points in the first, compared to just 4 for the Razorbacks. Alabama shot just 2 of 10 from beyond the arc in the first half, but Arkansas was 0 for 3. Crimson Tide led by as many as 7 in the first half, but the score would be tied at the break at 33.
The Alabama offense came to life in the second half. After shooting just 2 of 10 from beyond the arc in the first 20 minutes of action, the Tide shot 7 of 10 in the second half. Mark Sears put Alabama up 10 on this tray from beyond the arc with just under 10 to play. That made it 60-50 Crimson Tide. Up just 5, under 5 to play, Alabama knocked down 3 consecutive 3-pointers, 1 from Noah Clowney and a pair from Brandon Miller to put the Tide back up double digits, 74-63. That was the nail in the coffin for the Razorbacks as the Tide rolled from there to a 15-point win on the road, 84-69.
Our guys did well. We've got a talented group. They did a really good job on Brandon Miller for most of the game, and then he shook loose right at the right time. And I think he's grown up. In the past when he couldn't get a shot, he didn't get a shot attempt in the first half. He'd get a little frustrated, but when they're going to play him like that, opens the floor up for everybody else. If they're just going to lock onto him, there's more space on the floor for everybody else, and we were able to take advantage of that. And we're missing Amari Burnett. Obviously they're missing Nick. We're both missing a McDonald's All-American. So, our depth's going to get even better when Amari comes back. So, but I thought our depth tonight really helped us. Both teams got in some foul trouble. And then, I thought we had more. JQ got his 3rd in the first half. I thought we had more point guard play with Sears and Jaden Bradley being able to play it a little bit. So couldn't be more proud of our guys. Continue to get better every game. We just got to keep getting a little bit better every game and staying in this hunt for the SEC championship.
That 84-69 win snapped the Razorbacks' 17-game home win streak.
Mark Sears led the way as he scored a season-high 26 points, including hitting a perfect 10 for 10 from the free throw line to go along with 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Brandon Miller scored all 14 of his points in the second half, while Noah Clowney added 15 points and 5 boards in the win. The win over number 15 Arkansas improved the 4th-ranked Tide's record to 14-2 overall and a perfect 4-0 in SEC play. This is just the second time since 1987 Alabama has begun SEC play 4-0.
Also, this weekend, number 4 Alabama hosts LSU Tigers in Coleman Coliseum. Tip-off scheduled for 3 o'clock on ESPN. The 7th-ranked Alabama gymnastics team started their season off with a top 10 win at home in Coleman Coliseum this past Friday night. We'll have all the details coming up next right here on Tide TV This Week.
Tide TV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, for great offers on F-150, see your local Ford dealer. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
Welcome to a sold-out Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa.
Players play, tough players win championships. If we're blue-collar basketball, we're winning this game. Okay, you play harder than them, you win the game.
Roll, Tide, roll is exactly doing that. It's hard to hear yourself in here.
We need a huge crowd to pack Coleman Coliseum.
Davis with the spin on the layup. Right to the basket, lays it up, plays it in despite the contact. What? You better hush your mouth, girl.
Stop it, Brittany.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. A new era began this past Friday night for the Alabama gymnastics team, the Ashley Johnston era.
Johnston, a 2-time national champion gymnast for the Crimson Tide, took over as the head coach of the program this past May. Friday night was her first meet as head coach, and it was a big one.
It was, and the 7th-ranked Crimson Tide took on 12th-ranked Michigan State in a fantastic season opener inside Coleman Coliseum.
A dynamic duo of Tide seniors won all 4 event titles. Luisa Blanco won the all-around with a score of 39-575. Blanco captured the top scores on beam and floor exercise. Blanco finished with a 9.9 on beam and a 9.925 on floor.
Makara Doggett won the other 2 events as she won both vault and the uneven bars with scores of 9.9. Freshman Gabby Gladio was impressive in her Crimson Tide debut as her score of 9.9 on floor helped the Crimson Tide win the event. In fact, the Tide won all 4 events as Alabama defeated Michigan State by a score of 196.975 to 196.550. The Tide's 196.975 was the 2nd highest season opening score in program history, and what a way to open a season and the Ashley Johnston era.
And for more on the Tide's big win and on Coach Johnston's first meet as the head coach of the Crimson Tide, our Delaney Jones joins us now along with Coach Johnston.
Excited to have you in the studio today with us, Coach Johnston, and congratulations on your first win as the head coach here. I mean, how does it feel to you and the team to open the season with a win against a top program in Michigan State?
Thank you so much. It was an amazing time on Friday night, and to be able to open with a win, it was big for our team. It was big for our confidence. Michigan State's a really talented team. They had a great freshman class, so that was a really great start for us.
The team score of 196.975 is the 2nd highest team score for a season opener in program history. What does that say about this team?
This is a really talented team. You know, we have a great balance from 6 seniors and 6 freshmen and a great group of sophomores and juniors. And so it was a strong start for us, but you know, we really do our best not to focus on the score and just to stay in the process and to keep building.
Along with some amazing performances from the upperclassmen, Gabby Gladio had an amazing night in her collegiate gymnastics debut.
Yep.
What does a freshman like Gabby add to this lineup?
Gabby adds such a dynamic presence to our lineup. I mean, I think everybody can see that her gymnastics is just unmatched. I mean, she has a way of just tumbling and vaulting like probably nobody has seen before. So I think it's going to be a really exciting year for her.
I think I can speak for everyone when I say this, Coach Johnston. We are all so excited to have you back here at the capstone. I mean, how did it feel walking back out onto the mats Friday night, now as the head coach of your alma mater, just seeing Coleman packed with fans ready to cheer on this team?
Gosh, it's just the most amazing feeling. I mean, to walk back out there in Coleman, it feels like home, you know, and not just the environment and the support, but I know so many people. I mean, this place is somewhere that you know, people come here to be for a really long time. And so I'm so thankful to be back. It's been an amazing process, an amazing team. The community is just unbelievable, and I can't wait to get back out there again next Friday.
You won back-to-back national championships in your time here as a gymnast under head coach Sarah Patterson. What did you learn from her, and what is it going to take to get this program to that level?
You know, Sarah and David Patterson have been amazing mentors and encouragers to me, and something she always said was to be a champion in every area of life, and that was academics, that was gymnastics, and that was in the community. And so that's something that I really try to encourage our team with, is to go for excellence in every area of their life, but to stay in the process. And if they focus on the process, then the bigger picture, it's going to come by doing the right things along the way.
After your career here as a gymnast, I mean, you traveled the world competing for Team USA, coaching for several other schools. Now that you've been back in Tuscaloosa for a little bit, how does it feel to be back at the University of Alabama? Is anything different?
Gosh, you know, there's a lot of things that are different, but at the same time, it has that same feeling. There's just a magic in the air here. It is a championship school. You see that by the way other coaches operate. You see that by the way our student athletes operate. You see that by the way our community is just so invested in the success and the well-being of our student athletes. And I truly believe that the University of Alabama is the most special university in the world, and I'm just so grateful to be back here.
Thank you so much for coming to talk with us today, Coach Johnston. Congratulations on the win. Good luck on the rest of the season, and roll Tide.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
Stay with us. We'll have more coming up next on TideTV This Week.
TideTV This Week is presented by Ford. For great offers on F-150, see your local Ford dealer. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide, the University of Alabama, where legends are made.
Welcome to a sold-out Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa.
If we're blue-collar basketball, we're winning this game.
Some noise at the Rhodes House. Sliding in around the tag is Dowling. Ashley Prangy. And Alabama takes the lead. That's well hit to center. Montana Fouts got her. Jenna Johnson. Perfectly executed. She's looking for more. That's gone. Alabama answers right back to grab the lead.
Welcome back to TideTV This Week. The Alabama women's basketball team has gotten off to a hot start this season. Heading into this past Sunday's matchup against Auburn, Coach Curry and the Crimson Tide were 12-4 overall.
That's right. And about that matchup against Auburn, going into Sunday's matchup, Alabama had won their last 7 over the Tigers.
And the Crimson Tide came out hot in that first period down on the Plains as they jumped out to a quick 7-0 lead, led by a couple of layups from Brittany Davis and a tray from Hannah Barber. Alabama shot 10 of 13 from the floor and 4 of 5 from beyond the arc as the Tide led 26-14, nearly gave them 46 points after the first 10 minutes of play. Alabama kept on rolling in the second period as the Crimson Tide defense smothered the Tigers, forcing them to connect on just 4 of 16 from the floor for 25%.
Alabama took their biggest lead of the game in the third on this layup by Ryan Cobbins with a step through. It put Alabama up 29 at 66-37. The Tide continued their dominance over the Tigers in the final 10 minutes of play. Another layup by guess who? Ryan Cobbins in the fourth put the Tide up 31, Roger. Just 74-43. Auburn just wasn't ready for the Tide on Sunday as Alabama dominated Auburn in their home arena 88-57.
Speaking of dominate, Alabama dominated the paint as they outscored the Tigers 48-24 in the paint. Crimson Tide shot 56% from the floor and knocked down 8 of 16 shots from beyond the arc. Alabama held Auburn to just 34% from the field and 31% from the three-point line.
Brittany Davis had a game-high 24 points on 10 of 15 from the field. Jada Rice added 9 points and a game-high 10 rebounds, while Sarah Ashley Barker had 9 points, 8 rebounds, and a game-high 3 steals.
The 88-57 win over Auburn improved Alabama's record to 13-4 on the season and 2-2 in SEC play.
That's right. Alabama returns to action this Sunday as the Tide travels to Oxford to take on Ole Miss. Tip-off is set for 4 o'clock, and you can watch the Tide live on the SEC Network.
The Alabama softball team began practice for the 2023 season this past week. We'll have those highlights and more coming up next right here on TideTV This Week.
Great competitor, just beautiful to watch from start to finish. Practice is paying off, and she knows it. Beautiful. It's going to be a big number. And sticks that landing. Beautiful landing. Oh my gosh. Perfect stop.
Try it again. Play up. Play up in.
We need a huge crowd to Cat Coleman Coliseum.
Davis with the spin on the layup. Right to the basket, lays it up, lays it in despite the contact. What? You better hush your mouth, girl. Woo. Stop it, Brittany.
Welcome back to TideTV This Week. The Alabama softball team held their first practice of the year this past Sunday as Coach Murphy and the Crimson Tide prepare for the 2023 season.
Team 27 will have 22 practices before the season opener, along with 4 scheduled scrimmages.
Let's take an all-access look as the Tide took the field for the first time this year on Sunday.
Day 1 Bama, it all starts today. Women's College World Series starts right now. Let's do it. Here we go.
Patrick Murphy's squad opens the season here at the Rhodes House on February 10th as Alabama hosts Georgia Southern and Lehigh for the Leadoff Classic.
Stay with us. We'll have our plays and players of the week coming up next in just 90 seconds, right here on Tide TV This Week.
How about some noise at the Rhodes House? Sliding in around the tag is Dowling. Ashley Prangy. And Alabama takes the lead. That's well hit to center. Montana Fouts got her. Jenna Johnson. Perfectly executed. She's looking for more. That's gone. Alabama answers right back to grab the lead. What a moment for the Crimson Tide when they needed it the most.
Full in. Wow. All the work they've been putting in. Absolute great competitor. Just beautiful to watch from start to finish. Practice is paying off, and she knows it. Beautiful. It's going to be a big number. And sticks that landing. Beautiful landing. Oh, my gosh. Perfect stop.
Sears, he'll push wide open, and a flush. What a start for the Tide.
Jared will drive into the lane. A lot of pass, Bediako, and they got no answer for him right now. Sears drives by him, gets underneath the basket, whips a pass outside. Cloudy steps into a three. Bottom. Rebounded by Rylan Griffin. He'll push it ahead. Beautiful pass. Miller, the flush. What a pass by Rylan Griffin.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. So those were our ATI plays of the week. Now let's take a look at our players of the week brought to you by Legacy of Hope. Brandon Miller led the Tide as they dominated Kentucky in Coleman Coliseum this past Saturday. Miller had a team-high 19 points and grabbed a game-high 7 rebounds in the Tide's 78-52 win.
Mark Sears also scored in double digits in wins over Kentucky and Arkansas. Sears scored 16 points to go along with 6 rebounds and had game highs of 4 assists and 6 steals in the win over the Wildcats. And against Arkansas, Sears just scored a season-high 26 points to lead the Crimson Tide to victory over the 15th-ranked Razorbacks.
Tide Hoops is filling the stat sheets, and you know who else is? Charles Bediako. He was instrumental in shutting down the reigning National Player of the Year, Oscar Tshiebwe. Bediako helped hold Tshiebwe scoreless in the first half and just 4 points for the game. Bediako finished with 9 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 assists.
Brittany Davis led the Crimson Tide to a blowout win over the Auburn Tigers down on the Plains. Davis had a game-high 24 points on 10 of 15 from the floor in Alabama's 88-57 win over Auburn.
Talk about scoring at will. Next, Luisa Blanco led the 7th-ranked Alabama in the Tide season-opening win over 12th-ranked Michigan State. Blanco won the all-around with a 39.575, taking first place on beam with a 9.9 and a floor exercise with a 9.925. Congratulations to our Legacy of Hope Players of the Week. Another big week for the Crimson Tide, man.
Yes, it was, Kenzie. A great start to 2023 for the Tide.
It was. Thanks for watching. We hope to see you back here next week for another episode of Tide TV This Week.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,